a big moment for me to come back to La Scala again with Mozart opera. My first time here, 2004, was conducting the Domeneo with Luc Bondy. And now in this special moment for all of us to be back here doing again Mozart opera Le nozze Figaro is a beautiful thing. The production of Giorgio Strehler is of course very much loved, very famous, has been seen in so many theaters hundreds of times. So it's a fascinating experience to be part of that, and it's an honor to be part of that. It's a production from another time with different ideas, and it's been an interesting challenge for us to combine this production, which belongs to a slightly different tradition, and the ideas that I bring to the opera and that the singers we have today bring. Figaro was the most popular opera at the time of Rossini, and Figaro was played so much in that period that we've inherited a kind of dramatic and musical tradition in this opera, which is very much influenced by the Rossini time rather than by Mozart's time. And I think this creates, or has created, an idea of the piece as something light and funny, entertaining, elegant. And of course, it contains all of these elements. It contains everything. And one has to respect those elements as much as anything else. But what's interesting for me, what remains after listening to the Figaro or conducting the Figaro, and for me it's a great sadness. The piece ends with this kind of false impression that everything's going to be okay, as if the cast say to each other, okay, for now we put this aside, we'll talk about these things later. But there are two characters in the piece more than anybody else whom I can't forget. One is the Barberina and the other the Contessa. And Barberina is a girl. She's, I think we know from Beaumarchais, she's 12 years old. This is a girl who's had her innocence and her childhood stolen from her in the most brutal way. And the Contessa is an extraordinary, strong and noble woman who's had her dignity and her hope stolen from her. The Count is a man of great strength and of great weakness, but he does enormous harm to the people around him, to the women around him. The piece is written in another time. It's not possible or right to judge morality from an 18th century piece by modern standards, but there's no question. You listen to the music that Mozart writes at the beginning of the fourth act, the Cavatina of Barberina. I cannot think of a more deeply sad piece of music that Mozart wrote in his entire life. There is absolutely no question that for Mozart and Da Ponte, the story of Barberina is not a light thing to be joked about. It's something of enormous weight and deep, deep personal sadness. And the arias of the Contessa have a kind of weight of long-standing suffering. It's not just something in the moment, but something that's worn her down to such an extent. So there's an enormous empathy with these two characters, and all the other things that happen, and all the humorous moments, and all the charm, and all the elegance, they're important and they're wonderful. But in the end, for me, that's what remains.